Hey, what's up guys? Justin from Out of the Basement here again to do another Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch action figure review. This is going to be the new 2020 packaging wave with Darth Vader. About a week ago, I found the Stormtrooper, Admiral Akbar, and Tebow, for which we have reviews for all of those, so check those out. But Nate and I went on a little hunt on our own, going across the state border to try and find some more. He ended up getting the Admiral Akbar, Tebow, and the Stormtrooper. I ended up getting the new Vader. This is, of course, the Vader from Empire Strikes Back, and you can tell because it has this blue color scheme. That's going to be the color scheme for the Empire Strikes Back. So coming in with the box, we have the figure here itself. We have the Black Series logo up here. Right down here, it does say Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, Darth Vader in blue. On the side here, we have a nice profile shot image of Vader. It's kind of interesting to see the blue because the lightsaber also kind of looks blue. Kind of interesting to see Vader with a blue lightsaber. On this side, we just have that blue strip that continues, the Black Series logo, the side window. On the back, we kind of have that same image of Vader. Near the bottom, you could tell because every movie and TV show now will have its own numbering system. This is number 1 for The Empire Strikes Back. Number 2 is the Hoth Snowspeeder Luke Skywalker. However, we all pretty much already have that because of the 40th anniversary carded wave. So number 2 in this line is actually going to be a repack, and we did find it at pretty much every Target that had this wave, but obviously, why would we pick that up if we already have it? Over here, we have the Black Series logo, Darth Vader in blue text, and of course, the classic Black Series read-up. After the destruction of the Death Star, Darth Vader became obsessed with finding Luke Skywalker. He had dispatched probe droids across the galaxy, finally locating the rebel base on the remote ice planet Hoth. Does have a window on the top, and of course, we do have this new angled packaging. I recommend cutting the tape on the top instead of messing around with the side. So let's take a look at the accessory that it comes with. Darth Vader's crimson red lightsaber. Great hilt sculpt work. Really nice clean paint on this saber. There is some black as well as some silver on the switch. I really like how you can even see the texture on the switch. And there is also a little gold dot right there. There's a belt clip. The blade is the newer Black Series blades that are thicker and just more saturated, juicy red. I love these sabers. That looks like such a good shade of red. We have had this before, but this specific one is really clean, and obviously it makes sense that it comes with him. But yeah, great saber. Really, really clean paint apps on this. Here he is out of the package, and I gotta say, he looks great. We have had Vader quite a few times in the Black Series. This is going to be, I believe, the 4th release of Vader because we have that original sad puppy eye dog one with the removable helmet. We have the Emperor's Wrath Vader. We have the gold standard, which is the 40th anniversary one / red and black box one. And now we have specifically his Empire Strikes Back look. So the chest console is a slightly different design. There's a few different things with the belt. One of the biggest things is the black eyes. No brown eyes, no red eyes. This is the first time having a Vader with black eyes. And of course, the cape no longer drapes over the shoulders in this design, like the Star Wars 1977 one. That's one of the biggest changes on this one. And so it definitely is different enough to constitute picking up an Empire Strikes Back Vader. Let's take a closer look at the detail. Taking a look, I like to start off with the head, the helmet. It's a great sculpt for Vader's helmet. And of course, the biggest thing about this is those black glossy eyes. Absolutely no red eyes. He's going to look just like he did in The Empire Strikes Back. I really like the sculpt for the helmet. I think it truly does look accurate. I think it's a great mold. Get a little back. There is some sculpt work on the back of the helmet like so. One thing we noticed right away is there is a bit of silver near the neck there. It's not a trick of the camera. That is a bit of like silver wash on the under. So that's, I don't know, that's a detail I kind of actually really like. We have the shoulder, upper chest piece here looking really clean, really nice. I love how shiny and glossy this is. The chest console looks great. Everything on there looks pretty clean. We have the belt with some really nice silver and red and green and black, and then there's the middle belt side over there. All these paint apps are super clean. Really nice blue right there and red and white. Gotta love this detail on him. I love how you can tell that this is more of like, that's like a harder bit of armor, and then it goes to like this leather paint, and then on the gloves right here, you can tell that he's wearing a glove compared to this material right here. It's really nice. Same thing with this arm, of course. And then we have that same sort of effect going on with the pants. And then here are the boots. We do have peg holes at the bottom of the feet, of course. Let's take a look at the cape. This cape is just a nice black cloth. Unlike some of the other Vaders, there are no weights at the end. I know some people would probably be asking for that. However, the cape still sits really nicely. And then, so we have the cape right there that is attached to pretty much under the head right there. So on another Vader, it actually goes over the shoulders. Just for a quick comparison here, we have the new one over here, and you can see what I'm talking about with the cape and how it drapes over the shoulders. Whichever look is better. I mean, you can pose the cape around and make it look however you want, but just a quick comparison on that. And back here, we have the belt right here, and then there's more. We have this cloth that goes all the way down as well for pretty much a half skirt. It obviously doesn't go over the front. And then something I forgot to mention, this cloth goes underneath the belt right here, and then same thing on that side. So it sits well. It sits how you would imagine Vader to look. You can have it more spread out like that, or you could have it a little more tight if you choose. It's pretty much, you know, whatever you want. And then I guess real quick, we'll just compare the detail with the Star Wars 1977 one. This head might be a tad bit smaller though. The differences also really come with these switches and buttons and chest console doohickeys. I'm sure there's 10 books explaining what all of this is, but whatever. It's accurate, it's cool, it's different. And then right here you can get a little better look at what I was talking about with that silver wash blend underneath near the neck, which I think is really cool. Let's get into the articulation. You can look up about that high and can look down about that low. He does have the separate neck articulation, so you could get some really good free poses with that. You can help tilt ever so slightly. His head, of course, does rotate back and forth. He would go all right around. He is on a ball joint on the inside. The arms can move out, but they are hindered by this shoulder piece, so they can't go all the way out. However, I'm about to excite some people. I have to turn up the exposure a bit so you can see it. But there is a butterfly joint in there, so that is awesome. So yes, this Vader totally has some butterfly joints, so you could get some really nice movement. Every lightsaber wielding character, every single figure in the Black Series should have butterfly joints. Let me make sure he has it on this arm as well, and he totally does. As you can see, you might be able to see a little better right there. So he indeed does have butterfly joints, which is a surprise to me. I haven't looked at any reviews for this guy. So let's look at the arms. The arms can also rotate around like that. You can twist at the second half of the arm. The single jointed elbow is still really good. Gives you more than 90 degrees of articulation. Let's check out the other arm as well. And absolutely more than 90 degrees for articulation. That is great. This hand is more of a force choke because he's using the finger, but it's more of just like a relaxed gripping hand, I suppose. And it does hinge horizontally up and down, and it can rotate, of course. The other hand is the same thing, rotates and then hinges up and down like so. You do get a little bit of ab crunch. You can crunch back about that far and crunch forward about that far. It's not that much, but of course the joint is right there, as you can see, and then you can also twist him and turn him a little bit. Vader can kick out super far. He can kick back a pretty decent amount as well. Probably because they're reusing the old Vader leg, I'm assuming. This is a double jointed knee that can go about that far back. Does rotate at the upper thigh there. No boot swivel, no lower leg swivel. However, the feet go about that far up. They go super far down, and of course you got that great ankle pivot. So just to show off how in handy these butterfly joints come, look at him holding his lightsaber with both hands naturally, which is something that was really, really hard to do with the other Vaders, and it just ended up looking awkward. And another thing I noticed when I was just doing a few more comparisons to the other Vader, this is actually new. This is actually new mold here. And let's do some comparisons real quick. Let's go a little more in depth. But you can totally tell that this is new sculpt work, in my opinion. The gloves seem a little bit longer on this. They're a little bit shorter on this. There is certainly a certain amount of reuse, but there is a lot more new than I thought in terms of this mold and the articulation. So some of this on the torso, I do not know if this is an all new mold. It's very, very similar, and there's certainly a certain degree of reuse, but you can see that this is actually a little bit smaller than this. The straps that you can see that are holding it together are a little more visible on the new one. They're a little more profound. This has butterfly joints, and this does not. So there is definitely a certain degree. Let's take a look at the helmets again. Let me know what you guys think. There's a lot more new on this than I was expecting, for sure. Another way you can tell that this is at least a new mold to some degree is look at that perfect 90-degree angle, and this gives you more than 90 degrees. So even the arm articulation is better on this in terms of the single jointed elbows. Some articulation I always forget to mention is how the second half of the arm can rotate like that. And you guys, upon further review, this is actually a different mold for the sabers. The older one is on the bottom. You can even tell that the shade of red is a little bit better on the top one, the new one. And this mold is actually a new mold for the lightsaber as well. Look how much better the gold is on the top one. This figure is full of surprises. Here he is next to what I have been comparing him to. This is the 40th anniversary Star Wars one, the red and black box one. The original blue line sad puppy dog eye Vader with the helmet removed. Emperor's Wrath Darth Vader. Admiral Piet, a couple of Imperial Stormtroopers, which I did do a review of. These are the new ones right here. Check out that review. And the absolute quintessential comparison, Bespin, Luke Skywalker. These guys go together great. Vader definitely looks big and menacing compared to Luke. In conclusion, guys, this figure was a nice surprise. There is butterfly joints. The hands are a different mold. The arms have a deeper cut of a single jointed elbow than any of the predecessors. The black eyes look great compared to the brownish, reddish eyes of the previous. The lightsaber hilt is better. The blade is a more crisp crimson red. It's a little more juicy, a little more saturated. There is some new sculpt work on this guy compared to the others. This is not just a repaint. I like the way the cape sits compared to the other ones. Again, this guy has butterfly joints. Look how natural he is holding his lightsaber with both hands. This is now the gold standard for Darth Vader in the Black Series, and it is now my favorite Vader in the Black Series. I cannot stress enough how much butterfly joints improve figures. Please, Hasbro, every single Black Series from here on out, give them butterfly joints. Which, hey, out of all this new wave that I've reviewed, Admiral Akbar has butterfly joints, the new Stormtrooper has butterfly joints, and now Darth Vader has butterfly joints. Let's keep it going. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Did you manage to find this guy? What are your thoughts on him from what you've seen in the review? Anything at all, let me know in the comments down below. Like I said, I am Justin from Out of the Basement, and we will see you guys in the next video.